You are now tuned to BS3 Network.
You
Hey
know,
y'all, in
hello.
my Texas
I
accent.
just want to say that when it
Hmm.
first comes on, the life happens. It makes us look more interesting than I think we are.
I think we are pretty interesting, Chad. But anyway, as I was interrupted, hey y'all, in my lovely Southern accent, I want to say welcome to another episode of Life Happens. I'm your co-host Rabia, and today we've diving into a topic that's both intriguing and thought-provoking. Now, have you ever noticed how some people use their faith as a way to sidestep taking responsibility? Perhaps you've even encountered situations where belief becomes a barrier to honest self reflection. I am tired of that. But anyway, in this episode, we'll explore how faith, which is often a source of guidance and a moral compass, can sometimes be misused to avoid accountability. We'll delve into real life stories, share eye opening insights, and discuss how this dynamic impacts relationships and personal growth. This is going to be engaging conversation that challenges us to look at faith and responsibility in a new light. So anyway, guys out there, grab your beverage, get comfortable, and join us as we unpack how people use their faith to navigate or sometimes evade the complexities of accountability. And I'm tired of those folks, but anyway. Hey y'all, it's been a long minute.
It has. It has. It's so good to see
Yes,
Yes.
everybody.
it
Hey
is good to
everyone.
see. Hey
Hello.
y'all.
Everybody ready for the holidays are
Oh
actually
yes.
here.
Yes, I'm
No.
ready.
I am ready. Go, y'all, I'm on this calorie. I don't say it's a calorie deficit, but like I'm on this what do you call this?
A
A
calorie
detox, but
deficit.
it's actually eating like because I don't eat all the time, so I'm eating like several times during the day, but food that's protein and all that stuff, and no sugar. And all I can think about is peanuts, M&Ms. I think about Edward's key lime pie. I'm thinking about all the starches and the sugars and the cakes and shit. So yeah, I'm ready for the holidays in a
How long have
nutshell.
you been doing it?
Since Monday.
Oh, congratulations.
Because I need more protein if I'm gonna lift weights. You know what I'm saying? So it's like,
Yeah. I was talking to a friend the
um,
other day, and he said for the whole month of November, he's not eating anywhere where there's a drive-through. And I thought that's really positive. I thought that was really great.
really. So what is it gonna? Well, I think he's gonna cook, right?
He either is going to cook, or if he does go out to eat, it won't be a place where they actually have a drive-through.
Oh,
So
like
I
what?
thought that's a positive start to getting, getting yourself right for the new year and all of that. So that's also one. I have so many of my friends and families that are on semaglutide that are
Hmm.
doing that as well to lose weight for
Are
the.
they doing well?
They are, yeah. A lot of my friends have lost weight, 40 pounds, 30 pounds. I
Hmm.
mean,
See, I just want to cut you off there. That's really good, but I know somebody that lost a lot of weight, and as soon as they went off of it, the cravings came back.
yes,
And what I think about, okay, so when because you remember Kim and I was thick, um, I went on Edipix. Baby, I lost so much. Edipix is like crack, by the way, if you don't know that. It makes your heart rate accelerate and you got all this energy, can't sleep. And so I lost about 65 pounds. Baby, it came on like a wrecking, it came back on. What I realized though, in this phase of my life, that really it starts in the kitchen. It really does. What you put in your mouth is so important.
it
Like it
is.
does because she on when she was doing the what's you call it Ozempic, she wasn't watching her diet. So she wasn't changing anything. She was eating smaller portions, if that makes sense. So yeah, it doesn't change. So when you go off, you just go back to your habits.
So true. I have a friend that went off, and within 2 months, she had gained the 20 pounds that she had lost. And but I believe that the semaglutide and things like that, I believe it's a lifestyle. I don't believe it's something that you can actually get off of, because what it does is it quiets that voice in your brain to tell you to eat, 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 eat. So it quiets that voice. Well, when you're not on it, that voice comes back. And of course you eat like normal, because that voice is there telling you,
Right.
oh, you haven't had enough. Oh, it's time for you to snack. But when you're on it, it quiets that voice. I read a study where it also helps people who are alcoholics. So it helps them
Oh,
with
really?
alcoholism. It's been known to do that as well. So it has some really great benefits, but I see it as a
Yeah.
lifestyle. I don't see it as something you come off of.
Yeah, I don't think you can either, just from her example. And also, I read it helps with PCOS. So it
Yeah, it
helps with
does,
hormones and
right.
all that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah. So at this point in my life, I just gotta eat and exercise, really.
Yeah. I mean, I don't discount exercise. I know a lot of people are discounting that, but I still keep it in the routine,
Who discounts exercise? I mean,
Hey,
because we have CJ over there that is, I keep seeing him on social media. He running marathons. What else did you do, CJ? You lifting weights, doing
I,
handstands and stuff.
I be doing all that shit, man. I be I be
I
I be
know.
I be doing I be doing all that. I'm actually losing weight. I went from 220. I'm losing a lot of muscle actually. So I went from like 228. Now I'm probably right now I'm like maybe 219. But tomorrow when I wake up, I'll probably be back to like 218, 217. I'm training to do it's a track meet they're having in Houston. So I'm gonna be running the 100s. So so y'all
nice.
mess, yeah. So y'all mess with your boy. And then let me see. So I'm doing that in February of next year. Then I'm doing the CrossFit Games. They got one in Dallas in December, and then
Wow.
that's along with me running the 5Ks. And if y'all check my social
Okay.
media, I know I don't be capping. I really be getting to the business. But enough about me. I want to let y'all know y'all are awesome, beautiful queens, from Felicia, Kim, and Grace, Rabia. Y'all awesome, beautiful black queens. I love y'all. The world need more of y'all. So I just want to let y'all know, if somebody didn't let you know that they loved y'all today, which I'm pretty sure everybody did because they got a significant other. This is your boy CJ.
We do.
Y'all are all my right here,
But
baby, right
CJ,
here.
we appreciate that
We do
lovely,
appreciate you.
lovely. But I
Thank
want you to
you.
And
tell
back
the
at
people
you.
out here about your YouTube channel.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
So I got a little, Yao Ming. I got a little
You have a
YouTube
YouTube
channel.
channel? What is it called?
Yes, he does. But it's a sport. Okay, let me not talk. Let me so go ahead and tell the people
No,
out here in.
I got you. So it's Plays by CJ. I'm at the 83,000. I'm tripping. 8,300 mark. We on the way to to the 10K mark. Hopefully by the end of this year. I do a lot of sports, but I like it because it's kind of just me and it's kind of my channel. So I do a lot of swearing and I be saying the most ridiculous stuff on my
We
side.
know.
So for real. So y'all can check that out. It's called Plays by CJ. If anybody's interested, but I ain't want to promote it here because it's totally
Why
different.
not?
I get
No,
bug
why
wild
not?
on because I get bug wild
No,
because
you should promote your
because
That's
this
fine.
stuff.
That's
because
fine, but
this
you gotta
is
promote
life.
yourself. That's right.
Because this is life happens, and then just like how we finna talk about the Lord of Christianity, what I be going on, I'll be dropping
Hey,
some bombs, but we ain't gonna talk about that here. That's all I'm
so
gonna say.
I'm gonna tell you about Kim's reputation. Kim was known as the cussing pastor in the call center.
Oh,
Not
Um,
Kim. I don't believe that. Not Kim.
I'm like,
Uh-uh.
I'm just joking, just joking. That wasn't Kim. That was me, actually.
That was Rabia. That was
You
Rabia.
got a
Y'all
mouth.
believe
was
that,
me.
Oh,
right?
you got a mouth. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
No, that was me.
Oh, yeah.
Then you, I'll pray for you, but I will tear you up, though. It was after Jesus. Now, pre-Jesus was a whole different Rabia. Like, there was.
For
But anyway, we're
real.
not talking about that. That was, you don't know. You weren't even born yet. But
Oh,
anyway.
wow.
All right. I'm gonna chill. I'm gonna chill out. I'm gonna chill out. I'm gonna chill out. I'm gonna chill out.
Are you guys ready? Have you guys watched the video?
Yes,
I
ma'am.
have.
Let's watch it again because baby.
I want to talk about this story that I've been seeing about this makeup artist who canceled on a bride and her bridal party the night before her wedding so that she can go do makeup for the rapper JT. When people started calling her out on it and telling her that wasn't right, she started sounding like this.
Crazy being publicly humiliated, but when you're in Christ, I don't look to social media in the world for acceptance, mercy, grace, compassion. Like, I look to God for it. So for everybody that's trying to humiliate me, make me feel small, I serve the God that created the world.
Accountability feels like an attack when you're not ready to acknowledge how your behavior harms others. There is a difference between people picking on you and people bashing you unnecessarily and people holding you accountable for not keeping your word. You go out of your way to talk about how you're a Christian and how you're a woman of faith. You serve a promise-keeping, oath-keeping God, but you couldn't keep your word. Even Christians have to be held accountable when they're doing something that's wrong. And I get it. You thought this was your blessing. You thought this was your big break. But God would not allow you to break your word to one person so that you can get the opportunity that he gave you. How do you know this wasn't a test? A test of your integrity to see how bad you wanted what you wanted. Did you want it so bad enough that you would break your word to someone else?
She said a lot. Hey, Ben.
What's going on, Ben?
How being?
She said a lot. So, Kim, we want to start with you, honey.
Oh, come on now. Come on, sister. Come on. She is using that as an excuse for not showing up to a job that she had already agreed to do. You cannot use the Lord like that. You cannot use your Christianity, your morals, just because you were wrong. And instead of just saying, hey, I was wrong, I should have done that, but I took this opportunity instead of just owning up to it, just own up. I'm just like, just own up to your shit. And she is not owning up to her shit. She is
She did
not.
not.
She's making
Yeah.
she's making excuses. And
Right.
you know, that's no way to do business. That's no way to do business. No way to do business.
No.
You're wrong, sister.
Yeah.
It is.
That puts me in the mind of women who say, the Lord brought them their husband, but he was married. That's not how God operates. If he's
No.
gonna give
Ooh,
give you something, it's gonna be available and ready for you. You know, so
exactly.
if it's the Lord, quote unquote, the Lord is gonna make a way where you have somebody to help her, or you're able to still help her fulfill your promise and get the and JT would call her the next day. Oh, it's been moved. That's how the Lord moves. He wouldn't move in a way like she said in the video to, you know, cause you to lose, you know, to
Right.
misrepresent yourself, not able to be accountable for what you've already, what did you say, promised to do. You've already, you
Right.
know, when people book a makeup artist, it's always at least months in advance. This is not something that
Right.
you do a day before or 2 days before. You're like booking them
No.
out months in advance. So no,
No.
I'm not buying it.
What about you, CJ?
Hey, yo. No, on seriously, I ain't gonna lie, but that's a difference though. I've heard barbers said like, hey, such and such say, hey, I shoot you $100 right now if you can get me right now. Or depending on the amount, they say 100, a grand, but that's a haircut. Normally people don't schedule those things. Like I need a haircut. That's why I got my, you know what I'm saying? But you don't schedule those months in advance. I understand, hiring a makeup artist, that's a months in advance type timing. I'm interested to see, hopefully JT put a price on it. I ain't gonna lie. I hope that price was worth the integrity, because I ain't gonna lie. I'm gonna keep it real. If she said, hey, listen, hey, it's JT. I'm part of the City Girls. Listen, I'll pay you, quick little 5-6 racks. You can just, what I'm saying, you can get me right. I'm not gonna hold you. Depending on what I got going on, shit. Depending on what but that's why I said, I hope it's worth your integrity. I hope it's worth, whatever
But
you
even
did.
if, but I agree with you, CJ. But even so, my point is, even so, if she said, JT said, I'm gonna give you 5 racks or whatever the case may be, to that bride, I will be like, you know what? I'm gonna make sure I find somebody to help you with your makeup, and I will pay for it. You see what I'm saying? Keep your
Right.
integrity. Don't just leave her. Well,
Right.
you know what? Too bad. I'm sorry, I can't do it. And you out. Oh, and the
Well,
Lord gave me this. The Lord didn't do that.
well, you know that people will say it's God's will, or only God can judge me, and that's simply because
Yeah.
to avoid accountability, and they
Yep.
shift the responsibility from themselves to God. Well, if God, because who's going to argue when you say God told you? Because I mean, I know God's whispering in your ear. I can't argue with that. But the fact is, this is to avoid responsibility. She was
Right.
dead ass wrong,
Right.
because God is not going to do that. Like Felicia was saying, no one's going to tell someone, "Oh, that's your husband, and he had a whole wife at home." What? So God is plotting their demise so that they can get divorced? What
No.
the hell is that?
Yeah.
So
No.
no, yeah, she's full of shit.
Hey, and I'm not the most religious, individual. I do have a relationship with, what I'm saying, with JOD, with JC. That's what I call him. I'll be like, JC, I need you to look out for him right quick now. But isn't that a thing? It's called like, I don't know, maybe don't use the Lord's name in vain. Now I know people say that literally when when you say like, when people be saying, God damn, people's like, hey, like, don't be using Lord name like that. But I also take that as, don't be putting what you got going on the Lord. Don't be, to escape responsibility. Don't be saying, oh, the Lord, the Lord. Yeah, you never know when the Lord gonna call. Man, bitch, man, the Lord ain't. Don't put that on the Lord. That was all on you, because you wanted, and she want to use that to escape the backlash. Girl, you know what?
She wanted people on her side.
Okay.
She
Right.
wanted people on her side. She wanted
And
to
you know,
say,
yes,
she wanted to say,
yes,
y'all be on my side because God is on my side, because look what God did for me. So be on my side. These people who I didn't show up for, they're mad. But why are they mad? Because God blessed me? Come on.
that's
Yeah.
and that's the thing. She
She used
misses
it to
the whole point.
justify.
Right. Absolutely. Missing the whole point that you were absolutely unprofessional. Okay. And that also gets, okay, I don't know if you'll experience this, but every time I go to a black owned restaurant, is never on par, it's overpriced, right? That's my experience. She is a black woman. She makes us look bad. Who wants to do business with that? Nobody wants to do business with somebody that does not honor their word. You said you're going to do it. Somebody else came and a famous person came. You thought you were going to get fame because that's obviously what she thought. And these other people that booked you before are now trash because they're not as famous as this person, right? So, but what does that make us look as a people?
It makes you look
Crazy.
bad. But to the point of the stylist, I knew a stylist. Well, I know a stylist who styled Tamala Man. She styled Tamala Man, and what she would do is she would be like, I'm kind of on call for Tamala, but I have a backup, friend that I could
See?
get you to. She just let
Right,
her know I'm on call. So if she calls me, I'm gonna always make sure you're taken care of, and that's the
right.
integrity. Up front that I got this other situation going, but if I'm not able to do it, I will make accommodations for you. And that's just good business, because things
It
happen.
is.
What if she had a death in her family, or what? I mean, things actually do happen last minute, not necessarily a celebrity, but it's a good business practice to be a person of your word, to be honest. And to me, that's just shows so lack of integrity when you say, oh, that's just like saying, oh, I didn't pay my bill because my checks, the way they do my checks, it doesn't come before the bill is due. Nobody cares. Your bill collector could care less how you get paid. It's your integrity that they care about. Just like with the stylist and the makeup artist, it's your integrity that's here at play.
Absolutely. No, I agree. But let's talk about when people hide behind faith, but they traumatize people. Have you ever heard of people in these religious backgrounds, like deeply religious, and they hurt their children, their families, and they'll say, "Oh, I was helping God's people." For example, pastors' children. Like I read a lot about, and I've seen a lot of pastors' children that are wayward because their parents poured into other people versus pouring into them. But they say things like, well, God told me to. God did not tell you to neglect your first ministry.
Mhm.
So, Kim, in your experience, because you're a pastor, how do you
Kim, you was a
manage?
pastor?
Yes, Kim is a pastor.
Oh, oh, my bad. I'm tweaked out. I've been swearing. My bad. Oh, my bad. My bad, sister. I ain't know you were. My bad. You should. When we first met, you should have told me, hey, before you get to doing what you're doing, I am a pastor, so
I'm
or
a
I
youth
was.
pastor.
I told you, cussing pastor, you didn't believe me, and I told you.
A
No,
youth
my
pastor.
bad.
I'm just a
See.
youth pastor, but I've seen people do that that I've even worked for who put the ministry first. And no, I've never done that. I've always been a person who always put my family first before anything. I mean, no. And I remember this is so great because I remember talking to a pastor once, and he told me, he said, now, people will tell you to always put the ministry first. He said, but I'm going to tell you, don't do that. Always put your family first. And he said, he was an older mentor. And he said, I did that for years. I put, because he had his own church, and it was just, he just always went there first. And he said, and my family suffered. And he said, I'm telling you now, and this is when I first became a youth pastor. He said, don't ever put this ministry first before your family. And I've always felt like that was just gold that he had given me. So, but I know a lot of pastors that do that, Rabia, who put
Yeah, I've seen it
the
too.
ministry first or put their calling first before um, their family, for their wives.
But wives do that mess too, though. Let me read this comment, and I'm going to tell you what I was thinking. Keisha says, "Hey, I'm a pastor's kid, Kim. You're a pastor where?" And Kim, stop downplaying the. Just because you know what, stop saying, "Oh, I'm just a youth." That's not just that you're
Okay,
responsible to shape
you're right,
them,
Rabia. You're right.
to
I shouldn't
shape
do that. I'm a youth
teenagers.
pastor at Global Spirit Center. It's in Corinth, Texas.
Out there next to Denton.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I know about Corinth because I be passing through Corinth when I go to Denton, when I go to Windstar. That's one reason why I know about Corinth. My bad.
Okay.
That's bad. I don't, Kim. I don't made some too. Kim, I done made some few prayers before I go to Winston. I say, Lord, please, I swear, man, let me hit this just one time. Let me,
Me too.
me,
Me
hey,
too.
no,
Me too.
hey, but Kim, when I lose my little $300, when I be walking out of Winstar, I say, Lord, I know you told me don't, man. I should have known when I needed gas when I had the stuff, because, they got a Buc-ee's out there.
Yeah, there's a
Yes, a bucket. Yes, I should have known. I shouldn't have stopped there. I should have. Lord, you was giving me signs. Yeah, you made me come back to Dallas, and then I lose my money. I say, Lord, you was right. I'm sorry. I just interrupted, but there's Kill.
No,
I
you.
know you was a pastor. I'm intrigued. I didn't know. I got questions, but I'll ask those offline. I'll ask those off. But like a serious, like a quick question, and I want to know from you, Rabia, I'm gonna just poke fun at you today, just because I know. So so do you know whether it's family members or people that's close to you that use, I don't want to say, oh, God told me to do this or God told me to do that as a crutch, but like, do you know people that like seriously, like when you so when they be saying, yeah, God told me I should do this specific thing, And maybe it's ignorant on my part, but I just be looking like there's no way, like you, for real, like, okay, so
God's
he
never
told
told you to
you,
do anything, CJ.
no. I'm not gonna say that. See, now we getting deep. Damn, Kim, damn, we get that. No,
But it's true though.
no. But I'm just saying. There is okay. Well, this is me. There has been some when people have said the Lord told me to do this. It's been very specific, and it's very convenient for that moment, especially when it's an inconvenience for
Right.
somebody else.
Exactly.
Right.
I knew this lady who said that she was in love with God told her this man at the church was her husband. He was single.
Girl,
She was single. That is my husband. I know that's my husband. She said God told her. She pined for this man. She made all these flirted and all this, and he was not interested. God didn't tell him that. And she said
right,
that
Keisha?
she said finally she realized that it was witchcraft that she was doing, that it wasn't God. It was
But
just
I've seen that, Kim. I'll tell you why. Let me just say, I was in a cult one time, right? Didn't know it was a cult, and there was a guy that came to visit, and I noticed all the women around me were talking about that's their husband, and I thought, how is the Lord telling all y'all that man is your husband? And I was like, that was crap. And he looked like a gnome. Literally. The man looked like a gnome. He was not attractive at all. And I'm watching this around me, and I knew then it was a spirit. So stuff like that does happen, CJ, right? The truth is this: God talks to everybody differently. Now, as somebody coming from Islam, when God first started talking to me, it was in forms of visions, right? I didn't know how to hear God's voice. And one day I asked the Lord, what do you sound like? And he directed me. I can't remember the scripture in the book of Psalms when he says, Kim, I don't know if you know this, but he says his voice thunders over the waters. I'll send you the scripture. And then as I matured in my walk, there's a few times in my life where I've heard him audibly. But it sounds like you. It doesn't sound like anybody else. You're not going to be scared. It's not like that. But God talks to us differently where you at. And you'll just know. Like it's like it's your innermost parts, and you know. Now some people are gonna say outrageous things, but God's not talking to you about it. So oh no, when somebody comes to you and says, God said you my wife or my husband, hell, I should know too. Why am I surprised?
why am I surprised? Right.
No. You.
God knows my type. He's not gonna send me no man that's 5'2" and has
So-
no beard. Like I mean, really?
No,
He's not.
No, and
I don't like that.
this is me. I don't never downplay whatever your relationship with the man upstairs. That's your relationship with him or her, depending on what you know. But sometimes I really sit back. I say, now did the Lord tell you to do that, or is this a coping mechanism you're trying to tell yourself? So for example, right? So just like baby girl that used the excuse of, I don't listen, hey, it's in God's hands, the Lord, A, B, C, D, E, F, G. Okay, I understand. Did he really, or she, whoever, did the man upstairs, did he really tell you to take that opportunity? Or is that a coping mechanism for you not to face reality? Now, that may bring up some some feathers, but all I'm saying is I feel like when you're, if you're going to say, okay, the Lord's did A, B, C, and D for me, I understand that. But when it's a mistake, when it's an obvious mistake, and I'm not talking like this is a no, that's what I'm saying. This is an obvious mistake. This ain't no, I was in the desert 45 days and shit, and I was delirious. And I'm like, shit, I don't know which one's the one. No, this was clearly you had something going on, A great opportunity came. I'll give her that. A great opportunity came, but you decided to go about it badly. Did the Lord really tell you to,
Tell
hey,
you,
forget all
Jesus.
that, just do that? Or is that your coping mechanism? Because there's a lot of people that use that whole, that the God told me to do it, but you're using it as a coping mechanism. That is something I can't never get down with, because I'm like, okay, so you're just gonna never take accountability. You just, so whatever it is, okay, bet. Well,
That's not coping, that's a shift of responsibility. That's what that
Mm-hmm.
is. So you
there
can
we
say,
go.
well, God said, and
Mm-hmm.
so you take it off you. So you don't have to be accountable. Like,
Right.
I didn't do it. God said to do it, and that's bullshit. God is not going to tell you that when you, unless if she had got people to do these people's makeup, like, and she can vouch for them, and then she's like, guys, I got this opportunity, so I'm going to get these people to do your makeup. But I think people will be more receptive to that because now there's a backup plan. This is
Right.
my wedding, baby. And you can
Yeah.
tell me that God's not going to do that. Not
No.
the God I know.
Right.
She's
But
full of shit.
I had a really great pastor say, if you ever want to know if it's God's voice that you're hearing, God's voice will always line up with scripture. So if you're wondering, is it God, is this you? Is whatever you think you hearing, if it's not lining up with the
That's
word
a
of
fact.
God, then it's probably not him.
Come on
It's
now.
more than likely
That's
not
a
him.
fact. Because God will talk to you in scriptures. Felicia's absolutely right. I mean, and that happens to me all the time. Sometimes you be a season of, I know in my experience, because I'm a seer, I have a season where I don't see. And so I'm just directed to scriptures. And that to me, I can't say what's better, but it's just different wherever I'm at. And it's life changing. But you have to be somebody that actually is in the word of God. And then, so you recognize it. Because a lot of times people say things that sound like scripture. Because I used to tell my kids, yo, this is so stupid. I'm giving an example. I used to tell them, a thief is a murderer. And Layla would quote that for years. And she said one night she got, oh, this shit's in the Bible for that. And I was like, nah, bruh, that was me. You said it so much. Like, if you steal, you can kill, right? So you have to study for yourself. The Bible tells you to study to show yourself approved. You have to do it for yourself. You can't listen to people because then you'll get people saying God told you. And then the people sound so, spiritual and mysterious. And then we make people idols. I've done that before when I've been in certain ministries, but as I've matured, I've seen that, hey, I made that an idol. That's a human being. That is my bad. That's not that person's fault. That was my fault.
Mm-hmm.
So Rabia, Kim, Felicia, for everybody, right? So it was one time I heard something, and I was like, God told you that? You sure that was him? I just, but it's almost one of the things where you don't want to question it, because it's like, oh, you're questioning it. I'm like, no. If he told, so, okay, so I'm gonna give you an example. One time, I think I was talking to this guy, and I was like, I don't think that's a good idea, right? So he told me he's seen a vision. He said God told him to invest the majority of his emergency funds in this stock. And in 5 years, he'll be laughing at, I told you to get on that. Now, and that's the thing. My relationship with JC, there's only certain things that happen. I'm like, that just had to have been him. That just had to be, like, I can't explain it. It's him, right? So I was like, considering a situation, because you have 2 kids, you're barely making ends meet, but you think this is the ticket out. I'm not necessarily sure this is the way out. He said, no, God told me, I had the vision. God said this right here. And I'm like, I understand. And he's like, oh, so you're questioning. I'm like, no. I'm not, shit. To be honest, I ain't got shit to do with me. If God told you to do a 360 off this clip, all right. I mean,
That's when you must back away and walk away and be like, okay,
right.
you do whatever.
Right.
Yeah.
But my thing is, I was like, I know this is a bad idea. Any, not say logical, but anybody that has some sense would say, hey, let's not that I don't think that's correct. But he was just so for certain, God, this was his thing. And at this point in my life, I'm like, shit, hell, you ain't my son. Well, my son wasn't even born yet. Hell, my son wasn't even thought of yet. But but if you ain't got nothing to do with me, I'm like, okay, well, I'll let you do your thing. I revisited him. I said, hey, what happened with that? What happened with that? I'm because I'm thinking, hell, maybe I might have missed out. Shit, maybe God really did tell him the keys. And then he said, oh, well, it must not have been in God's favor because it didn't, it didn't hit the same. I'm like, what do you mean? He said, well, I got to recoup that money back. I got to do A, B, C, and D. And I'm just like, but you swore up and down. You told me, oh, are you questioning? And I'm like, no. I never question the Lord. If that's what he's telling you to do, that's fine. But there's been multiple instances I'm really looking. It's been so specific, like specific. So just like how you just said, God told me you was my wife. Nigga, how the fuck do you even? What? God told you. Like you see what I'm saying? I don't know if I'm making sense, but I feel like the pieces together and somebody are connecting them for me.
I know.
One of y'all do that. One of y'all do that.
Do y'all believe that? Do y'all believe that all good fortune is God?
No.
No.
Not necessarily. Not necessarily.
No.
Not necessarily.
No.
Not necessarily.
Mm-mm.
Because I felt
Luke-
like the lady in the video believed that good fortune was God.
Right.
All
Right.
good fortune.
But that was out of order, and God's a God of order. He's not going to do that. I mean, how all of a sudden he said, "Oh, I changed my mind. Don't do go by." No.
I'm gonna take this blessing and I'm gonna replace it with this
Right.
blessing. Yeah,
Right.
no.
No. He ain't
That's
gonna
not
do that
how he operates.
at all. At all. And I just want to add, there are different times in my life where I felt like God was talking to me strongly about a specific thing, but before I did it, I wrestled because it was so ridiculous and it was out of the norm. And one of the examples I can give you was after my divorce, I was sitting in church. I was the pastor's wife's armor bearer. So I was in church from the time it opened till it freaking closed, right? Now, my kids, one particular Saturday, it was a breakfast. This is now 4 o'clock in the afternoon. My kids are tired. They don't want to be there. And I remember because I couldn't leave until she released me. And that's a form of control, but we won't talk about that right now. But anyway, so I'm sitting there waiting, and my kids are tired and they want to leave. And the Lord spoke to me clearly, and He told me that if I did not create a balance, that my children would despise Him because He did not tell me to be at church from the time it opened to the close. I was just newly divorced. My children needed a present mother. And if I continued going that way, they're going to end up hating God because that's what God would look like to them. You be in church for them, like no balance, absolutely no balance. And it goes back to husbands and wives as well, right? So the husband doesn't really go to church and his wife does. And every time the pastor tells the wife to do something, she'll do it. But when a husband tells her, she won't do it. So then they start fighting, and she's like, well, pastor said, and then the husband will never go to church, hates the pastor, because now the pastor's the man of your house, but not your man. Do you see how it can get so distorted? Because we saying God said. God didn't say nothing about that. God tells you to listen to pastor and not your husband. That's the priest of your house. But we use that as an excuse because that woman wanted to do what she wanted to do. I used church as an excuse to not be home, so I didn't have to deal with my ex-husband. And I took my kids with me. And I didn't deal with that when I should have left a long time ago, but I was using church. And then I wrestled to leave, and I kept saying, well, I need to hear from God. I need to hear from God. And finally, literally sitting in church, and I was wrestling, and all I heard was, now was the time. And baby, I moved so fast. And I was divorced 3 months later. Quick, moved quick. I should have left alone, but anyway, that's another story. But what I'm saying is, as Christian people, sometimes we use God as an excuse. We're waiting for God to talk. If God told you to write a book and you say, well, I'm waiting for him, he didn't tell you to write the damn book, write the book. But we hide behind passivity. Well, if he said write it and you don't write, there'll never be a book because he's not going to come down and write the dang book. So we hide behind it. We're waiting for God to tell us when he already told you. Does that make sense?
Yeah, we use it
Like
as a
he told
crutch.
you,
We use it as a crutch
right?
in our lives, for us not
I've
to
done
do
that out of
things
fear,
and to do
right?
things.
Because it seems so big and it's scary, right? And so if I tell people I'm waiting on God, they're not going to question that
I know. No
because
one's going to
you're
question
not
that.
God.
Okay, we'll keep
No,
waiting on.
well, well. So how I take it in certain, certain things, I say, the Lord has blessed you with so many things. He's blessed you with good health. He's blessed you with a brain to think, and He blessed you with no.
There you
Hopefully,
go.
you have no disabilities that can abstract your great thoughts. So with that being said, I towards certain, and it's that, and that's what I feel when I feel like things are very specific. Now, not to say, I'm not saying, this is just me. I'm not saying, if God himself spoke to you in a way to said, hey, we need these lottery numbers. By the way, if you got that, let me know.
Ah.
If God legit told you,
Right.
if you know, I don't know, you took a shower and then some words start, let me know, because I will be using that on this next lotto, and y'all will know about it, because this whole setup looking different. We having some green screen. No, I'm playing, but you know what I'm saying. But seriously, when people start using God or just anything as a crutch, like, do y'all know people that be talking about, oh man, I don't know, when people use, death as an excuse. Oh,
Yes.
sis,
How?
when people,
Yeah, how?
okay. So people that be saying like, oh man, since such and such passed away, I just been acting differently, and now I can't, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, just using certain instances for, as an excuse, as a crutch. And I don't believe that's honorable. I don't believe that's right. I'm like, bro, okay, I know God. Come on now, bro. Did God, like, the whole saying, what would Jesus do? Man, Jesus ain't telling you to do that, man.
People
Man, that
will
lady.
people will use
Here's the
anything
thing.
for bad behavior
They
to
will.
To
to
justify bad
to
behavior.
justify
To
bad
justify.
behavior. People will use anything to justify.
They will.
Okay, well, I'm being rude to you. I'm being mean to you. Oh, well, it's that time of the month. Okay.
Oh my God. Right. Instead of
Okay.
controlling your damn self and going away quietly and leaving the rest of your house alone, say, hey, I need a couple days, instead of being abusive. But that's true though, because women, we do that sometimes. We're like, I'm in a bad mood, I'm up here, and then treat everybody like shit.
I
You know that
know.
saying,
And it's like
happy
you
wife,
can't
happy
use
life. That is
everything
freaking
as
toxic.
that. Oh,
Mm-mm.
I just got over surgery. What? And that makes you
Right.
mean. Okay. Okay.
Oh,
Oh, I just
I had
lost
a
my
bad
husband
childhood.
2 years ago. Okay.
No, go. I mean, what about people that have childhood trauma that mistreat people and that's the excuse? Like, who hasn't been through trauma
I
and you want to
know.
mistreat? Like, no, we
Exactly.
don't. Nah, I'm gonna cuss you out too. Shoot, I'm gonna add more to your trauma. That's nonsense.
Oh, baby, don't
Mm-mm.
talk. Let's not talk about the millennials and the and the Gen Z, because they use trauma, man. Trauma is a big deal. I'm telling you, in my profession, trauma. Come on,
But
everything
see,
brings
that's the
trauma.
thing. But that's the thing, though. You can't compare and contrast and say, well, because I experienced this and you didn't experience, that
No,
means
you
you don't
can't.
experience
But
trauma.
everything is trauma.
Oh, because I hear my kids, right? They will tell me things that's so traumatic to them. I'm thinking, geez, if you grew up the way I did, baby, like, but I don't tell them that. I mean, because we
That's their
don't live in that.
trauma. It's their
But
trauma.
it,
It's theirs, and
it's
they
what
and they take their trauma and they wear it well. It's
they
like,
do.
wow.
Yes. and the dogs. That's the one thing that it just kills me to the core. If you want to irritate me, bring a dog into Marshall's and put it in the basket. Oh my God. I even seen a dog bite a lady. It's like, do we need these pets? A seeing eye dog behaves and they act a certain way, but they have these little nightmare animals talking about they're giving me what is it? What do they call them? They have a
Support,
name,
Those
but
support
service
animal,
dogs? Yeah.
support.
Those,
oh yes, this is my support dog,
It's
and
my
she
support.
barking and looking crazy. It's just like
Everybody has support dogs, man. Everybody has support animals. Hey,
yeah, you can even have a support pig. You know that, right? My daughter looks into that.
What?
I told her,
Never
you're
mind.
not bringing that pig to this house because that's nasty. You can keep it wherever you live, you take that pig with you. But imagine a pig in
why
your
do
house.
you need? To me, if you need something
Please.
to go with you, you might need to stay home.
Felicia.
You might need to consider being at home. If I can't
I
go to
mean,
the store by myself, I might consider I might need to stay home.
oh, that's funny.
Hey, by the way, Robbie, hey, I seen your daughter do that little, she was on there, I seen her on that opera tip. She was in there really on some Michelangelo, you know what I mean, type. She was really on that motherfucker. She was spinning. Man, I was in here like, okay, she was in here, she was doing her thing.
Yeah,
I ain't gonna imitate it because I can't, I ain't got the vocal chops like that. But shout out
yeah,
to Layla, right? Ain't that her?
yeah,
Oh
Layla.
yeah, shout out to Layla. She did such a good job.
Yeah, yeah,
Mm.
Layla was killing that
Yes, she did.
son. Shout out
That's
to
a
Layla, man.
that's a capstone for graduation. She hasn't graduated yet, but she had to do at the end of like a program. She sang like 7 songs, Italian, Afrikaans, and then some English songs. But I was actually amazed at how much her voice matured because she has to take voice lessons. It's really cool though to watch. And then it was so cool though because I didn't know that she had that in her.
Oh
Because one of the
wow.
songs was more
Yeah, she
theatrical.
was
I
in
was like, who's this chick?
yeah, she was killing it,
Yeah,
man. Yeah,
she
shout out
was.
to Layla, man. Shout out to Layla Woods. Right? Ain't that the
Layla
last?
Smith, baby. Her last name is Smith. I'm the
Oh,
Wood because
Yeah.
after divorce,
I
I took my name back because I wasn't keeping that name.
oh, okay. My bad. I wasn't trying to stir up. My
Nope.
bad. My bad.
Now we're Wood here. This is a Wood right here. But I want to
Okay.
just add to something, CJ, because you said something. God has given us free will. He's given us a mind, emotions for us to make
Mm-hmm.
decisions, right? And I
Mm-hmm.
was saying a lot of times we sometimes don't do things out of fear because maybe the vision is so big. So we'll say, God
Mm-hmm.
said, I'm waiting for God to tell me when He's already told you. But
Mm-hmm.
again, I call that passivity because now you're being passive. So whatever God told you to do is never going to happen because you're waiting for Him to tell you a second time, third time. And people say, well, I don't want to make a mistake. Well, the Bible says that your steps are ordered by the Lord. If you make a mistake, He will redirect you,
He will
especially if you
course
know that
correct
God told you
you.
to do something. Exactly. He'll reel you back in. And I
Yep.
know this because of the way, like when I'm writing, sometimes I'm going down a certain path and I realize, oh, no, come back, come back. I can't share that here with people. So God will redirect, does it all the time. But, we want to say we're not ready because God said don't do it. Or God said, go do that girl's makeup so you can be famous. Now, she got famous though. She did get famous with the
Yeah.
wrong shit. Now she went viral because she don't keep her word.
I know.
Shame.
That's one thing I always tell my youth is that God is like a GPS system. As long as you keep going, He will course correct you if you go down the wrong path. He will say, rerouting, rerouting, rerouting,
Mm-hmm.
just like GPS, but you got to keep moving. You got to keep moving. You can't stay stuck in this place of waiting, or you'll be 80 years old and never have achieved the thing that you should have achieved. Start that business, write that
You
book, apply
can
for
make
that
this.
job,
We
go out on a date with that guy. You know what I'm saying? It's
Nah,
like,
but hey, wait though. Nah, not all the time though. Don't go on a date with him.
yes, Rabia. If you
No,
had not done
okay.
that with Mr.
No, let me tell you, I just thought about something. You know, I used to be on not social media, I used to be on dating apps, right? And I kept
Yeah.
matching with a particular person. We'd match, but we'd never, link up or whatever. So, and he lived actually in Mesquite. So finally,
Mm.
boy, bye.
No, I
Finally,
was.
we decided we're gonna go out. But I don't know why I was wrestling on the inside about this person. I hope he's not watching this podcast. If you are, this is the truth, okay? So I was wrestling on the inside, and then I canceled the date last minute. But that night I had a dream, and I'm so grateful that I did not go. I don't even tell you the dream. I was gonna tell you, but I decided it's probably. But it was very spiritual, and I knew that that was a distraction which would take me down a path for a long time. Because
Wow.
he actually was white, but he acted black. So then I was wrestling with, like, because he was white, but he's not. Then he doesn't act white. So I was like, oh, it'll be fine, nigga. I think it was a demon seed.
Damn.
I, I ain't gonna say what I'm gonna say because I'm
No,
get
what
this
you
show
gonna say?
canceled.
Go ahead. Don't be scared.
Nah, you know how I feel. Nah, well,
Oh, yeah.
yeah. So I'm gonna chill out. I'm gonna chill out. I'm gonna chill out. But yeah, you know how I feel.
So
I'm
my
gonna leave it
point
alone.
is, when we talk about God telling us things, God will warn us. Because if you think about things that you got involved in, just before sometimes you did it, you knew. But you did it anyway. And then the consequences that come with knowing you shouldn't have done that.
That girl
But that
knew.
dream,
She knew.
no,
She
she knew.
knew.
She knew.
She knew
And
I
then,
have a previous engagement. How am I going to cancel on these people? How am I going to tell them I cannot do that? Surely they'll
I'm
understand. Surely they'll
right.
be on my side. Surely they'll see the,
Surely you are deceived, sis.
surely,
Surely.
surely you can get someone at the last minute. You really understand what I'm going through, right? This is a
No, but
chance
she
of a
said,
lifetime. This is a chance of a lifetime. Do you want me to pass it up? Is that what you
wait,
want me to do? See,
Kim,
she
she
probably
said
made those
she was
people
looking.
feel very guilty.
No, and that was bullshit. She said she don't need compassion from outside people because God shows her compassion. And girl, bye.
Good luck with
No,
that.
yeah,
Yeah.
she's not looking for social media. Baby, social media just made you viral, but if you had a business, your business ain't gonna be what it is.
Yep.
Yeah.
Like I said, man, I just don't appreciate people that use kind of anything, but especially religion as just an outside excuse or just what I'm saying, because that ain't right. Even like I know I'm not the most religious bunch out the squad, but let's not blame your shortcomings or taking responsibility off what you got going on the a different deity at that. Let's not even you know what I'm saying. So just own up to it. Just say, yo, I was tweaked out. I was tripping. My bad. Because I mean, I think any reasonable person, I say in that quotation, I don't blame all my I don't blame all my mistakes on the Lord, or I don't like when I know I do wrong, I don't say, oh well, Lord told me to text that other girl, to text Shawty,
Okay, I'm gonna play devil advocate for a
or
minute.
whatever.
So I'm gonna ask you, CJ, do you believe that what she did was like part of the grind? Everybody's always out there. You gotta grind, you gotta grind. You know what I'm saying? To get ahead, you gotta do this, you gotta be cutthroat, you gotta hit it. Is that part of the grind? You know what she did?
Oh,
Yeah, that's part of the
yeah.
grind, right?
No. So I'm gonna take the story face value. I don't believe what she did was right. However, I don't have enough context. But Kim, yeah, Kim, oh, Kim, you
That's
a
good.
Kim.
I mean, that's good. So
She's grinding. She's out there. She's doing it. She is grinding. So she'll use whatever she has to, you know.
So if the by whatever means necessary, is it really mean by whatever means necessary?
hey,
Shit,
Is
damn,
that
we
it,
did.
CJ? Is
Man,
it?
why we wait till the 5 minute mark to get Dan to get rims? No. Yeah, okay. So first off, it's just so different because I hear these conversations when it comes to haircuts. Like something that takes probably maybe 20, 30 minutes at the max to do. I don't hear these conversations. But what I will say is if I'm shawty, and I'm just thinking, I'm trying to put myself in her shoes. If I'm an up and coming makeup artist, I'm trying to get on the grind. I have a somewhat decent clientele, and then the very big one drops. Says, hey, I
The
need
biggest
you.
one.
The biggest one. She says, hey, I need you to, do this, that, and the third for me. I'll pay you about maybe 2-3 racks or whatever. If you can get me in. Am I ain't gonna lie. I ain't gonna lie.
You would.
I
You
ain't gonna
would
lie.
take it. And you probably don't know. I'm thinking, like Felicia said, if you're an artist like that, you know other people, right?
Well, I'm thinking about it. Like me personally, I would be like, hey girl, hey, so JT, you the one that made that song, real that big about it. Yeah, her. Yeah, she wanted me to do her makeup. And listen, I know we had something scheduled, but just like Felicia said, listen, girl, I know, I'm in the wrong, but I got somebody. She'll take care of you, or I'll even try to work out for compromise. But truthfully, I ain't gonna lie. Depending on how much we talking, and
you gonna take that, ain't you?
Hey, I ain't gonna lie. Hey, you better do your makeup today. Hey, you better do the little eyebrow.
But think about. To me, it kind of backfired on her. Integrity always wins, because what if she said, JT, I really want this opportunity, but I have a wedding to do. I'm sorry, I have to do this girl's wedding. Do you not think that maybe that integrity may be, girl, I got you next time? You just don't know how God works. You really
Right.
don't know how God works, because
Right.
with that, she doing your makeup, you doing JT makeup, and you get it, you blowing up on Facebook or TikTok, and they saying you abandoned this woman, and JT say you abandoned somebody. What's up with that? In her
Yeah.
mind, as
Right.
a client, I'm
Oh
thinking
yeah.
she not dependable.
At
She will
all.
she's taking the next hot thing running. So in both instances, it's you could inevitably lose. But when you're dealing with somebody like a wedding, guess what? She has bridesmaids, she has friends. That's business. JT, that's a one time. You know how many? That's a one time thing.
Yeah.
What if you don't ever get another client like that again? You missed out on
Yeah.
a bunch of weddings. You missed out on a bunch of everyday life people. So sometimes you have to really think about the integrity. Again, like you said, hey, girl, I noticed your wedding. Let's try to work something else. Let's try to figure something out. Hey, JT, I know you want me, but can I take a later flight? Because I want to try to get her
Right.
wedding stuff done, or da 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 da. I'm never saying don't do it, but don't use God as an excuse to why you did
That's
it
it right
and
there.
why you were wrong. Do
Right.
Right.
And just to add a little sprinkle on top, I would also, me personally, I would be like, well, shit. If JT reached out to me, that means I'm doing something right now. That means my skills is A1, which means if JT reach out to me, who can say, okay, somebody else of her caliber will reach out to me because I do have the skills. So that's kind of what I also say. I say, listen, the opportunity, but obviously you have a special set of skill set. And if she's seen it, that means somebody else probably possibly better or the same caliber could see it, which means you don't got to take this one, but shit, I ain't gonna lie. Shit, you may want to,
for this purpose, it's not about her taking a job. It's the integrity.
It's
You
It's
right.
the
integrity.
coming back saying
Yeah.
the Lord
Don't.
judged
You
Yeah.
me.
right.
That's
Yeah.
what this is about.
Trying to
It's
excuse
not
her
about
bad
her
No,
taking.
behavior. Yeah. Excusing her bad behavior. Yeah. I
Right.
agree. Using God. That's
no accountability.
Yeah.
So
No
guys, it's
accountability.
almost that time. Are these our final thoughts?
Yeah,
Yeah,
bad,
so
don't use the Lord for bad behavior. Own
for
up to your
real.
stuff. Own up to it. That's my
Own
advice.
your own your
Own up to
shit.
your shit.
Mhm.
That's right.
Yeah.
CJ?
Yeah, I'm with Kim. Own up to it. Baby girl, I hope it was worth it. Everybody got a price. I hope it was worth it. And hell, and I'm gonna play devil's advocate as the last look. Shit. Yeah, if I'm canceling, yeah, I need that. Yeah, I need that bag. Yeah, if you going, yeah, I need a bag. I know we just talked about all that. Yeah, I need that bag. You going 10,000? Wow. Okay. Shit. But I ain't gonna complain about the Lord about it. You see, I'm gonna own up to. I'm gonna just say, shit. Well, I'll pay the price. Put that on yourself. Don't put that on the Lord.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
honestly, you don't know how much she was getting for the wedding and how much she was getting for JT. You know what I'm
You
saying?
don't.
Facts.
Yeah.
Facts. Felicia?
I already said it. Your integrity is everything. Even though we live in a society where your word doesn't mean what it used to mean back in the day,
Ooh,
it
so
still
true.
means something.
So true.
Mhm.
Very true. I agree with what everything you guys said, and I want to thank everybody out there for joining us as we talked about how faith can sometimes be used to avoid taking responsibility. And guys, we hope that today's discussion showed the importance of aligning our beliefs with being honest and accountable. Remember, faith is a strong force for good when it helps us grow and connect sincerely with ourselves and others. So anyway, guys, we will see you all next week. Are we gonna be here next week, guys?
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
Yes.
All
We
right.
all four will be here next week.
I hope, I know Tanya had some stuff she needs to do with the car. So anyway. All right, y'all. Bye. See you next week.
Bye.